Back Row Ministry, the world premiere, Mr. Martin coming at you live and direct from the Kia Optima Studios. A lot of stuff transpiring in the world, so just the constant changes, all connected. Everything is connected. A lot of is coming out about the Kobe Bryant helicopter crash. So, it's I just look at some of this stuff today and be like, I just don't even care anymore. You see so much of the same stuff, so many of the same rituals, you stop caring. Because you start to realize, a lot of these people who they put the lights on, they don't care about anybody but themselves. It's a selfish flock of people. So I don't put anything past the majority of these people half the time. So sad, but it's just their mind state at times. So I saw a little piece about Diddy, and this is before the Grammy weekend, the Saturday night Grammy ritual party, hosted by Clive Barker, or AKA Clive Davis, but he's such a demon, I like to call him Clive Barker. But he hosts this party every year prior to the Grammys. If you remember, one year he hosted the party the night that Whitney Houston died. They had found Whitney Houston's body in the tub, and he hosted the party at the same night. Didn't even stop the party. See how satanic this man is. But Puffy, or Sean PDiddy Combs as he likes to be called, had made some statements during the dinner about the state of the Grammys, lack of diversity, black folk don't get Grammys when, black folk never really got Grammy Awards. I mean, this is nothing new. But he has the audacity to make all these statements about diversity in music, blase, 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 blah. Puffy Combs, the same guy who has shitted on the majority of his artists, has the audacity to talk about diversity at the Grammys. Now, how many Grammy Award nominated albums has Puffy produced? Where's his nominated artists? We're not talking about hip hop. We're talking about an R&B, anything like that. What happened to Carl Thomas, who Puffy had this thing of most of his artists would have like one album and then they would disappear. Remember, Carl Thomas had the one hot album and then he disappeared. And this happened with several of his artists. But Puffy never really, besides Mary J., worked with any Grammy-nominated artist. And with Mary J., she won for stuff. I mean, I think she won a couple of Grammys for her earlier stuff, but I don't think she won anything. So Puffy's never really been a person to really have these type of artists on his label. And when he did nothing with them. So to stand up there talking about diversity in music when the biggest problem, especially in the African-American music, or African-American with our music inside of our community, is that we have never really helped each other in the music business. We never did. It's like people ripped us off. Early on, people were hustling a lot of the early artists, and they learned the game, they learned the hustles, and then they just started doing the same thing to the artists. Remember the TLC thing with Pebbles, and Pebbles then starts ripping off TLC, but then she claimed that she was ripped off in her career. L.A. Reid and them behind that, backing this foolishness, yet they were ripped off at one point in their career. So you have all this going on, but never any education to any of the artists by any of these so-called producers and music moguls who so-called care about diversity and creating Grammy award-winning projects. Since I've been a kid, the Grammy was always really designed around certain artists, because the Grammys honestly are designed around a certain creative batch when it comes to music. I mean, you have to really be caught up in the popular music and alternative music that's kind of wide band, has a broad band reach. So only only certain album artists when I was younger were Grammy winning albums. It wasn't a lot of Grammy albums of the years and all this stuff when it came to a lot of the R&B artists. So, I mean, you had your Michael Jacksons, you had your Prince, but you didn't have a large amount of these type of artists winning Grammys. So, it's always been this diversity issue. I mean, my mama used to turn off the goddamn Grammys at times. She would be so pissed. But, you know, I got used to it. But I was a guy who liked popular music. I liked various artists. So, I like competition in music. So, my opinion, music has got bad. It's got real bad. I mean, Billie Eilish, or whatever she want to call herself, she won a lot of awards today. She's a very creative writer, but she ain't much of a singer. I mean, she kind of whispers the songs and stuff. I'm like, okay. But, you know, she's a young girl. Maybe she'll get better, and I think they're about to put a lot behind Billie Eilish as far as where they want music to go over the next 10 or 20 years. But, you know, you really don't have that competitive drive in nature when it comes to music, well, because you don't have that many creative people. And as far as in the African American community, especially in R&B, pop, where are the African American pop stars at? There's no Princes. There's no Michael Jacksons being created. I don't even remember the last African American pop star. I'm still looking for where's the big star? Where's the guy? Where's the superstar at in the African American community? It's like it doesn't exist. And you can blame that a lot on the changes of music, but it's like it's not there. So creativity has been lost in our community due to them removing band programs out of a lot of our schools. Music is something that's not pushed as it used to be. The computer now has given a lot of people the opportunity to produce their own music. The creative process is now starting to come back, but it's slow. I mean, musicians are rare nowadays. I mean, back in the day, these guys were musicians, play 5, 6 instruments. Now everything is computerized, and it just doesn't have the same feel. A lot of these guys aren't musicians. We are musicians. I was in the band. A lot of people they don't have that skill. So everybody thinks they can produce, which is not true. And you can tell that in the quality of music when you hear a track with two sounds in it. And then somebody starts rapping. I'm like, I'm gonna add anything else? I mean, it could be simple, but it gotta sound good. It's gotta have some parts to it. But it's just not that creativity there. And in our community, I mean, PDiddy gets up there talking about nominating people. He's never really backed anybody. He's shitted over the majority of his musical acts. He can't speak on that. I mean, it's not like L.A. Reid and Babyface. They can speak on that because they've created some R&B artists. They created a Grammy-winning act. Artists on that label won Best Album of the Year at the Grammys. So they can speak. They can talk because they've actually backed artists that won the Grammy for Album of the Year. But if you haven't did that, and if people don't know what I'm talking about, Outkast won Album of the Year. They won Album of the Year for Love Below and Speaker Box. That was a creative album. It was something that had never been done, and then a hip hop group did it. That really made that album stand out. But L.A. Reid and Babyface can say that was on the Face Records. We did that. But what can Sean P. Diddy Puffy Combs say? He's not creating anything like that. Sean P. Diddy Puffy Combs only been about Sean P. Diddy Puffy Combs. Where's Bad Boy at as a label? What artists are Bad Boy signing? When the last time Bad Boy put some music out? I'll wait. Doesn't even exist anymore. These guys were five and dime, quick lick artists, had a label, then they get on TV and talk about what we used to do. I see Kareem Biggs talking about what Rockefeller used to be. Where's Rockefeller at right now? Where's Rockefeller? Or it's Rock Nation. What are they doing? The only label you really got left is Cash Money, and they barely holding on. They're really starting to fade out now. But you got nothing left. Where's Motown? What are they doing? All our labels are pretty much done. They're pretty much done. So majority of African American labels are independent labels nowadays. But all these powerhouses we used to have, they never really fueled the creative process. They never really got anything going. Rockefeller was doing it because they had Kanye. And Kanye, they made him screw himself out of Album of the Year at the Grammys because the 808s and Heartbreaks album was supposed to be Album of the Year. That was supposed to be Album of the Year. And they made Kanye screw himself out the Album of the Year with that whole Taylor Swift bullshit ritual when they made Beyonce, Kanye, and Jay-Z put Taylor Swift up. That's how Taylor Swift became fucking famous and popular, because they sacrificed Kanye to do it after he sacrificed his fucking mama. Some old sick shit. But he got fucked out of the damn Grammy that year for Album of the Year. That should have been Album of the fucking Year. So don't get on the video talking about creative process, diversity, more people should be nominated for certain. And when you're creating bullshit, there ain't nothing out there. So what? Lizzo should win Album of the Year for what? What the fuck she got on her album? What do she got on her album that, after this album, which way is Lizzo gonna go? There's only so much you can do talking about one thing. That'd have been like Madonna just singing about one damn thing and be like Material Girl on every fucking song. Madonna won Grammys because she mixed it up. Madonna could try to sing. Madonna wasn't no great singer. She had that little raspy voice, but she can sell a slow song here and there. She has some great songs. I was a Madonna fan. I'm sorry. You can say what you want to say about me, but I enjoyed much of Madonna's music. That was just me. So plus I like looking at Madonna. I had my issues. But, she could mix it up. And you just don't have that no more. You got Lizzo just doing Lizzo things, but there's nothing to back it up. Lizzo ain't Jill Scott. She can't sing like that. And if she could, she needs to show it before she runs out of room with whatever she's trying to do creatively. So when you push this diversity piece, you got to be able to back it up with the creativity, and that's not in our music no more. That's not in our music. Even in hip-hop, I don't even waste time listening to it because there ain't nobody out there doing anything. There's nobody out there doing anything. The production is kind of weak. The lyrics, most lyrics suck. You got about 2-3 artists that are solid, and outside of that, most guys are just trying to play keep up and catch up. The creative process needs to be nurtured, it needs to be mentored, and they need to really let some of these guys out who do have the ability to do these things. But you got these labels and Clear Channel holding people back because they want to be in control of the content and what's being said. And then R&B wise, they pretty much just have wiped R&B out. When you got talented artists in the R&B genre who you don't even get to hear. So, the Grammys are going to be the Grammys. You're not going to force the Grammys to like African American music. They'll keep us in categories, as they always have. But, there's no standout African American star anymore. There's no standout star. Doesn't exist. And if you hear the radio today, you hear mockery. You hear everybody imitating the African American style. This is nothing new. It's always taking place. We're just going right back in the same cycle where every song you hear sound like some brother or sister singing it when it's not. It's somebody else pretty much mocking and imitating how you sound so they can sell records. It's all it's about. But the creativity, that's only certain people. So Billie Eilish, she won the majority of awards because she's creative. I can't knock the little girl. I can knock her singing, but even everything else you can't knock. Look at her video. She's not doing the same type of videos everybody else is doing. She got a video where she's just looking at a glass. And there's a lot of ritualistic shit in her shit. If you pay attention to it, you can catch everything. But she's doing everything different. Everything is part of the creative process. She's trying to be in control of the creative process. And that's how you have to be in music. But you basically are just a format artist like a lot of these artists are. You're not going to get anything out of it. Nothing's going to come. So creating an album that people feel. And it takes a lot for that. And the Grammys is a multiple category competition. It's a multiple category competition. And a lot of the songs you hear that win, it's songs that, you know, a lot of people that are African American ain't gonna listen to. They're not gonna listen to it. It's not like it used to be where we heard all the music and then you knew where the competition was going. Because it was still back then, this song, people wasn't, African Americans wasn't listening to Christopher Cross, a lot of them. I knew Christopher Cross, Sailing and all that stuff. I knew that was a Grammy Award winning album. That's what he put together. But, you know, talking about diversity without the creative process is not going to sell, and not backing any stars. So as people move away from the labels, it's going to be hard really to get, unless you start doing the grabbing artists and material like Netflix being added to the Grammys and saying, well, it doesn't matter where the material is at. As long as the material is good, as long as the material move people, then it's Grammy Award winning. You got material out there like that, but it's mostly on independent labels right now. And the Grammys ain't grabbing that. They still want stuff that's in the mainstream, that's constantly played in rotation. So they're not really stepping out like that to try to find the good music when there's a lot of good music out there. So Puffy really can't talk because he ain't never, beside Mary J, had an artist that was Grammy Award winning, who had created a Grammy Award winning album of the year, a quality or even song of the year. So, you know, he talking, even my man from Chic created Grammy Award winning material. So come on, man. Come on, dude. You got nothing to say because all you did was squandered, manipulated, and misuse artists with your bad boy label. Peace and have grace.